some insights about this concept and some of the experiences that I had in my previous experience. Um, you may find that some of the content which I've covered today, you may already know about it. If you know anything which I have not covered, please put in the comments so everyone can learn from that. Um, all right, let me share my screen and we'll get started. Okay, hopefully you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay, wonderful. All right, interesting topic, A/B testing. So A/B testing as a gateway to building thriving products. We know we all work on products, we work on different solutions, and we try to always seek opportunities to compare one product with the other to really see which one is really working for us, right? So I'll be talking about that. Before getting into too much of details, I'll talk about myself. I'm currently a senior product manager at Amazon in EU. So basically, my work is more towards improving the customer experiences, looking at how we can improve the data to improve customer experiences and overall customer journey on the shopping website that Amazon has on different platforms. Before Amazon, I worked in Cornerstone, in Here Technologies, Springer Nature, mostly into most of the experience that I have is into B2B kind of product development. I have done B2B, B2C, both kind of product development. Other than product management, I have also done operations management. I have also done process engineering. I played role of product owner, scrum master. So I have been through entire journey of product management and product lifecycle. So I've gained a lot of experience around how to build product from zero, ground up. And also I have worked on existing products, how to change the strategy to improve existing products, gain more market share, and improve customer experiences. So let's dive into what exactly A/B testing is today. All right, before I jump into too much of details, I just have a quick disclaimer here. Whatever content I'm covering here is not owned by Amazon or Product School. This is all based on my own experiences and the research that I have done on internet. And whatever data screenshots I have covered is all available on open internet. So nothing is confidential here. All right. So with that, I'm going to cover today what and why of A/B testing. Why do we do it? What exactly it is? Different types of A/B testing and how are we doing it? What is the process overall in general that is practiced in the industry? And we'll little bit touch about A/B testing without a B. So I'll get into more details on that. Okay, cool. So what is A/B testing? In general, when we talk about A/B testing, it's essentially a method, a process where we are comparing one product with the other one or one feature with the other one, right? And then we are deciding which one works really well for me. So there are different use cases. If you talk about physical products, then it's a different use case altogether, right? We go and buy car or motorcycle or whatever. We do A/B testing there. If you buy any vegetables, we do A/B testing there as well. Right? Which one is fresh, which one is not. So everywhere we do A/B testing. It depends upon us. What is our goal exactly? What are we trying to achieve from that A/B testing? So in fundamental terms, A/B testing is just about comparing two options that we have in front of us, right? From the product world, if I talk specifically, then A/B testing comes with some goals which are either related to price, product, place, promotion, 4Ps. If we talk specifically about the product, then we look at the aesthetics of product, right? How the UX looks, how the experience is, what is the quality of a product, right? How it is performing, whether it's fast, slow, right? So we do comparison between two and see which one looks really well. We talk about place, what's the preference, what is the timing, where exactly I'm using that product, what is the demography, who is going to use, right? Whether it's my kid who's going to use this product or an adult is going to use that product. We also care about pricing. We try to compare price of two products, right? Which one fits my budget? Which product is more competitive? So that's competitive landscape also with that. And finally, the promotion. This is very important. And A/B testing in general is heavily used in marketing, in promotion, in advertising, where we want to test, one kind of messaging with the other one and see which one people like more, right? So there are different kind of techniques that I use to do that. But yeah, A/B testing is very popular to really see which one is liked more by the end users. All right, cool. So before diving more into the product landscape and how exactly A/B testing is used in product, I'll talk about the history about A/B testing, why, from where it came, why it came, and how it became very popular in the industry, right? All right, cool. So uh, there's one researcher, Sir Donald Fisher, um, in around 1920s. He's actually is a statistician. So he came up with this idea. He actually thought about this A/B testing as a concept because it was not a formalized concept. So he thought about it in statistical terms, how exactly we can statistically compare two results from anything. So that's where he started thinking about. And then he thought, let's formalize this as a method which can be used in many industry applications. And at the start, he did some experiments on agriculture, basically. So he took a land and then he put two different kind of fertilizers and then saw how is the growth of a plant or a crop based on those two different fertilizers. And that's where he started writing about that. And then it has gained some popularity and became a concept which is later on widely accepted. Around 1950s, then when medical science took some leap, that time a lot of new medicines were developed by the researchers. So this was used in medical also to see what is the effectiveness of one medicine compared to other one, the size of the medicine, the composition of the medicine, how it works on different people, different demographies. So that kind of concept came into picture, right? Um, and then around 1960s and 70s, uh, it was used in marketing. And when I say marketing, the companies actually started sending postcards and letters different to different people just to see what is more effective when a company is actually giving a message through either of these channels. So that's how they started gauging the customer behavior and the consumer behavior in marketing, basically, in communication. And finally, in 1990s, when software development took a big leap, a lot of new technology, new developments have happened around 1990s. That time, this was introduced in software development as a concept to compare two different kind of experiences, two different kind of codes, databases, and all those things. And then it has become popular, when this field has grown into multiple dimensions. All right, but whatever I've talked about, this is all history, which is a noted history, which is there in the books. But beyond this, also, if you look from the early ages, I'm sure A/B testing is used in day-to-day life as well, right? When the first time wheel might have discovered, or the early people might have created knives using stones, they might have done some A/B testing for sure, but it was not documented. Similarly, when we go out, we do shopping, we try out different things. So in day-to-day life, basically, we do A/B testing for sure, right? So it's not something which is new concept. It's very much evident to all of us, and we do it on a regular basis in our life, right? All right, cool. So from the software perspective, I'm taking examples here more from the web-based products. At this moment, I'll talk about some other products as well. But let's focus currently on web-based because these are more popular and we can relate to it. And then we can talk about some more examples and try to see how we can connect that with products. But when we talk about A/B testing as when the types of A/B testing, there are three popular kind of A/B testing in the web world or software world. One is a split testing. We call it split testing because we split two different kind of features or versions of a software or experiences of a software, and then we try to give these two to different set of people and try to get some feedback and see which one worked really well, which one has a better acceptance or adoption, and then we can take a decision which one we can expand and go to the full population. So if you see this example, this is example of a button of add to cart. So it's a comparison between add to cart button compared to one more button, which is buy now. So in the early days, there was just one add to cart because there was just one user journey that I just come, I just keep adding the products to my cart, and when I'm done, then I go and check out and then buy the stuff. But based on the studies, it came as a hypothesis that okay, maybe by now some people may don't want to just add to a cart. They just want to pick and immediately want to buy the product. So let's try this. So this was tried, and then it worked. And I see today this is the right side one, which we are seeing as a variant. That exactly is the current experience in most of the marketplaces at Amazon. Okay, so with this, basically what I'm trying to convey is that when we do an A/B test, there are two kind of experiences or two kind of variations that we show. One is what we call control, and second is what we call variant. Control is what either the control is already in place or it is something which is our base new feature that we are trying to expose to some customers. And then variant is the similar variant of the same experience, which we want to give to some other set of users to try out and get the feedback. So ultimately, it's just A and B basically. Right? All right. So that's about the split testing or variant testing also. The other kind of A/B testing is called multivariant testing, where we are taking multiple samples or multiple variations of the same product or feature with a slight tweak and just try to see which one is liked more, right? And this kind of testing is done mostly in advertising kind of industry, where communication is very important. So they try to send different kind of message to different people just to see which one is accepted more or which one has more views or more acceptance or more, more visibility basically. So in this example, if you see, there's a company called High Rise, which is having a CRM kind of software product, and they wanted to give this kind of messaging on their page just to see which kind of messaging attracts more to the users to try out one of the plans which they have. And out of this, if you see, if you compare, I'm not sure I'm going too fast, but if you are comparing this, out of this A1 is the winner because the messaging says 30 days free trial on all accounts, and then sign up takes 60 seconds. So they have covered two propositions at the same time compared to other three messages. If you see, so 30% of the traffic actually opted for A. So that was the winner. Okay, cool. So in this case, the control is the first one, which they tried first, and then the variations, the four other variations, which they wanted to try. All right, the third one is related, but it has a different goal. Multi-page funnel. So multi-page funnel in this example from Chim Puppy, it's a online store to shop to sell toys and kids stuff. So what they are trying to do is they are trying to create a funnel where customers are first getting, seeing the message and then getting engaged, and then they are trying to buy stuff. But to ensure that they buy, they are trying to show this message, shipping fee, at multiple places. Okay, just to see in which page customer actually takes a look at that and try to click and try to understand what exactly it is. So it could be on landing page, the search page, or the details page, the product, or maybe at the checkout. So where in which page they are taking more interest towards shipping free, free shipping. So they just wanted to gauge that. So for that, they did this multi-page funnel to see to see the results. So this is another third type of testing, which typically in industry the companies do. All right. So whatever three variants I talked about, it's more from the customer experience perspective, just to gauge what exactly customer is looking for and how do they really behave when they get different kind of messaging or different kind of features. In the next slide, I'm going to talk more from the multivariant piece of it, but it's more from the capabilities that as a product team we try to build from the back end perspective, which ultimately provide a better experience to the customer. like one of the examples is API. We don't think from a user perspective more, but as a company, let's say if you are housing.com or 99acres.com, when you go there and you try to open any kind of property, you basically see a map also there, right? So that map is either coming from Google Maps or here or TomTom or whatever. There are different kind of maps available. So which one, as a product manager, which map I want to integrate with my product, right? That's a big decision. So that doesn't have a big impact on customer, because for customer it's just a map. For us, it's a very important decision. So internally, when we want to take that decision, then we have to do A/B testing to see which one. Maybe we take a trial version and then try to see which one works really best, which one is having better performance, better coverage on the data side. Similarly, on the server side, when we are deciding that, okay, I want to go on cloud rather than I'm using my own servers. In old days, when a lot of big organizations used to have their own data centers, that time they used to do all of this, right? They try AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, and then try to see beyond pricing what else makes sense from performance perspective, and becomes a differentiator, which helps me taking a decision, which one I should be going ahead with, right? So that's also an A/B testing, but it's more internally, which I'm doing. And these days, LLMs or Gen AI is taking a big leap. That's why I just took this example. And this is very widely getting used now in all the organizations. How exactly we can leverage LLMs to provide better content to the customers. And then there are OpenAI, Claude, Llama, Perplexity, Mixtra. There are different kind of LLMs that are very popular these days. And then it's on us, it's on development teams or product managers to really test different and then see on which one actually customers really give better feedback, or on which one I'm having more satisfaction towards the kind of data it is generating, right? So that becomes a differentiator. So this also is one of the ways you can do A/B testing to decide what you can do internally on the technology side to provide better experiences to the external customers. All right, cool. Let's move. Why of the A/B testing? Why do we do A/B testing? Right. Typically, we look at from customer perspective. A/B testing is more to do with looking at how we can increase the adoption of my product. Right. If I'm improving any experience, let's say take an example of IRCTC. Right. So IRCTC in olden days when I was in college, that time the experience IRCTC had was completely different compared to what you see today, right? They have many options. There is AI they have started using, and then you can, beyond railways, you can do other bookings as well. So those things were not there earlier, right? So they might have done this. They might have tried something, and then they see, what is the adoption rate? Are people still going and using a red bus, or they are trying to use IRCTC? So conversion rate, some of the metric basically when we look at increasing adoption kind of reason, and conversion rate, bounce rate, how much is the adoption rate overall of my features is what I'm trying to test. So that's my main objective, or the North Star metric. When we look at the sales, which is very popular, again, I want to increase the sales of my product. So maybe I'll give a messaging from the different kind of promotional activities that I'll do. So to some set of users, I'll probably give some kind of promotion, and then for some different set of users, I'll give a different discounting, and see which one works best for me, right? And which one is attracting more to the people, so that I can increase my sales. So to do those kind of experiments, I'll look at this metric, right? And the metric could be how much is the upsell I was able to do, cross sell, or how much repeat purchase customers have done because of something I have changed in my product, right? And the last one, which is across the industry very popular, is stickiness. I have the customer already in. I have people who have downloaded Instagram or maybe Facebook or Amazon or YouTube or whatever it is. What's the stickiness? How much they are using on daily basis, monthly basis. What is the NPS? Are they subscribing to it, or they are liking to it? How much time? How many times they are doing. So stickiness to the product is another very big metric at this moment, at least in the B2C space for sure. B2B also, but yeah, B2C is primarily where stickiness is a big metric when we try to do A/B testing, right? Um, a little bit of this we covered in previous slide also, but beyond customer or end user metric, we also look at the metric which is more system focused, and I spoke about it a little bit. We try to see how we are improving the performance of our systems, our internal systems. We look at response rate there, speed up kind of metric. We also look at controlling the cost, which basically database should I use, which server should I use, which one is saving cost to me. All those kind of decisions we take by doing A/B testing. We also try to improve the safety, basically. So which product is giving better safety to my authentication system. So all those kind of products also I try and do multiple tests to see which one works really best for my organization. All right, so that's the why. I'm sure there are many more metrics, many more reasons of why A/B tests are done. If you know more, please put in the comments, and it will really help all of us to learn. Wonderful. I'll go to the how of A/B testing. So this process that you see, it's very standard. I just took from my own example, my own experience. There could be little, few other steps you may do, or you may want to club few steps here. But in general, this is how the cycle looks, and we just conduct the A/B testing. So basically, important is first to define a goal. Why I'm doing A/B testing? What exactly is the goal that I have? What is the metric that I'm going to target? And what am I trying to achieve with this A/B testing? So we have to define that and document it. Right? It's very important. We also need to see what is my baseline, where exactly I am standing today, so that I can compare that with my results when I'm conducting A/B testing at the end, right? So that's a very important and a big piece. Once I have defined my goal and a baseline, I need to also do sampling. Now, sampling, there are two kind of things I can do. Sampling based on the product that I'm sharing to the user, um, or maybe based on the number of users that I'm picking, right? So you can do different kind of sampling. You can also do sampling based on number of locations that I'm going to show my, or maybe number of countries that I'm going to do, right? So all those kind of analysis we need to do. When we do the sampling, then statistical sampling is one way of doing it, and the other one is random sampling. Random sampling in general is very popular because it doesn't require too much of study to do that, but it's based on your previous experiences or based on some of your hypotheses which you have done, right? But yes, in some industries, yes, statistical sampling is very important, like medical field. It's really important. And typical example of statistical sampling is the COVID vaccine, right? When the COVID vaccine was getting built 2 years back, 3 years back, it was very important to see how many people we should do one test on to really get a good result. Right? So that's important. We also need to define the duration for how long I'm going to run this test to get a very good, output. Location, demography, big people or small people, what is the age group, and all those kind of things. Then we create the variations. We define what exactly is the different options that I'm going to show to my customers. And then we run the test, we gather the result, and then we interpret the result and take the decisions. So that's typically is the entire cycle. Some of the best practices that I really feel is important is documenting everything. Whatever we are doing, we have to just keep documenting. We have to take feedback from our peers and try to improve how exactly we can do the A/B testing. It may sound very simple, but documenting becomes a very, very important part, because sometimes you feel something is important, but when you take feedback from some other team or some peer who might have done some other way, then it helps us to really gauge what is the best way of doing it, and then you go ahead and try it, right? So that's really important. And then concluding it is important as well. When the results are out, then you publish the results, you share with the people, you try to take lessons learned from that, and then try to incorporate that in the next cycle, right? So that's very important piece. All right, I talked about a lot on this. If you have any questions on this, maybe we can cover in the Q&A at the end. All right, there's one more dimension that I wanted to cover on the A/B testing is B2C and B2B. When we do the A/B testing in B2C, the sample size typically is very large, right? Because there are very different kind of people, very different kind of users who use the products. So they may have different kind of perception. So the bigger the size, we can get larger sample or better data to really average it out and take a decision. Compared to that, in B2B, it's a very smaller sample size that we have to, right? The number of users that we have is very controlled. We know our customers in a company which is into B2B who has maybe 10,000 customers or 20,000 customers. They know their customers, right? And they know the behavior of that customer. So accordingly, we can select the sample size. Um, at the same time, yeah, I covered the second point also, unpredictable user behavior. So in B2B, you don't know, who is going to use the product, how they're going to use it, and what is their feedback going to be. So those that is very unpredictable there. But in B2B, you know your customers, right, really well. So you can predict that, which kind of customer may provide better feedback to you. Who is the customer who is making more noise about the product? So, there is a chance that the customer will give you better feedback. So you may specifically target those kind of customers to gather the feedback. The goal is typically in B2C's conversion, engagement, adoption, those kind of. Whereas in B2B, it's typically awareness, or lead generation, or cross-sell, upsell, right? The longer cycle we have in B2C, we want to collect more data, right? So we typically keep it for a long duration. And that long could be defined by you. If long is 2 months for you, it's good. If you feel that longer is 1 month, then that's fine. It's definitely up to the company, to the size of the company, up to the existing number of active users of that company, right? And at the same time, for B2B, it's typically shorter because you expect a short cycle, quick feedback, so that you can improve and then probably do another round of A/B test to further improve that. And the last one is messaging. In B2C, the messaging is more towards pricing or lifestyle or emotions, where you want to attract somebody based on these kind of dimensions, right? Whereas in B2B, it's more of return on investment because a company is buying something from you, right? So they are focused on capabilities, the ROI, the propositions, basically, to solve their own problems. All right, cool. Yeah, these are some of the tools that are very popular. One disclaimer, please. I'm not paid by these companies to show their names here, but I've just used because these are very popular and a lot of companies use these to conduct their A/B tests. A lot of companies also try to create their own internal tools or internal mechanisms to do A/B test, which is very effective at the same time. But if you are a startup and currently don't have those kind of mechanisms, then companies go and take subscription from these kind of companies, and they can still do their A/B test and collect a lot of data and then take decisions based on that. All right, cool. So my last topic for today is about A/B testing without a B. So we talked about when we have A to compare with a B, but it also happens when your product is already there. You are building a net new feature in the existing product, which probably wasn't there, used, or whatever. And in that case, when we do a testing, we don't call it A/B testing. It's typically called beta testing, right? There is an alpha testing, which probably has done internally by your developers, by your company, employees in your company or your teams. And then there's a beta where you go and give that to external people, external customers to get some feedback, right? So in this kind of beta testing, the goal typically is to collect the feedback to really see how well it is adopted and if there is any kind of feedback customers have, and then you can improve that before you do your GA. Right? There are 5 popular type of beta testing that I found are there. There are more available, but I just picked 5 because these are mostly used in the companies. Open beta testing is basically it's open for most of the customers. You still have a definite set of customers that you have picked for your open beta, but it's available to a large set of people, right? Closed beta is it's a very closed group, right? In typically B2B kind of scenario, you use closed beta mostly. Okay. Technical beta testing is more focused towards the developer community, right? Where they are going to provide you feedback more technical on more technical aspects of your product. And then focused beta testing is typically focusing more on specific feature or specific change that you might have done in your product. So to get a feedback on that specific thing, you conduct that. And then your post-release beta is basically you already have done your beta, you have gone probably GA as well, and then you provide an option somewhere, is on the right side or somewhere to get the feedback. Typically, Microsoft products, you will see this kind of options there where you click on the option on the right side or drop down. There will be an option that provide feedback, or you found a bug, please report something like that. So those kind of things are also part of beta testing. All right, and this is the one which I'm covering last year is for the new products. So when you are a startup or you are a big company, an existing company, and you're coming up with a new product, and you are doing a minimum viable product development, that time also we do this testing. We don't call it A/B testing, but it's more of a MVP, where the goal is try to see whether it's a product market fit or not. Right? There are different ways of doing it. One is low fidelity, and then one is high fidelity kind of MVP. Low fidelity is typically where you are not having your product ready, but you still want to gauge whether there is an interest of this product in the market or not. And then there is high fidelity where your product is ready, some features are ready to use, and then you release it, and then you try to get more feedback and try to improve that further, right? Um, on the low fidelity side, fake door is very popular. Landing page is very popular, where your product is getting built, but you still try to collect email IDs or information from the interesting the people who are interested in trying this product. Uh, One example, I couldn't resist myself to take this example, Kushal, from your own product which you are building right now. I want to show this. This is one proximity works. I found this very interesting when you added a button called join list to get the understanding of who is really interested, and then you may try to connect them later. So this is one example of landing page where on the landing page itself you give some content and you're trying to ask people to join the wait list, and then you collect their email ID, phone number, or whatever, so that you can connect them later. There's an email campaign MVP where you try to connect with people, and through email you try to tell them that okay, there's a new product coming in, are you interested or whatever. And then a marketing campaign kind of thing where you are doing some marketing campaign, maybe on your website you're giving a demo kind of video which they can see, and they can show their interest when the product is ready. And on the high fidelity side, when there is one feature ready, let's say, take an example of Uber. When Uber came for the very first time in the market, they just had one feature. You can just book one type of cab, and then you can go travel in a very limited kind of area. So that they came up with, and then they took some interest feedback, and then they improved it and added more options, right? So that was single feature. You can do a pre-order MVP where you basically have start taking order even before your product is completely ready or all the features are completely ready, but you can still take the interest and try to deliver those orders. And these two are important, Concierge and Wizard OZ. These are basically more uh, popular in the e-commerce kind of industry. In Wizard, you basically try to provide some options to the customers. They go there, they take, put their order, and then from the back end, you do some activities manually, but you try to let customers feel that this is all happening automatically. There's no human sitting there. It's all happening automatically, but you basically do it manually because you don't have full system ready and you're taking feedback. And in Concierge MVP, you basically do everything manually, and customers also know that you're replying manually, you're delivering your product manually. There's nothing to track, but you're tracking it manually and giving updates through SMS or whatever. All right, cool. So this is at the end, basically, what I'm trying to say is this is another kind of A/B test where you are having an A, but you don't have a B, but you still try to build your product and try to get feedback and try to improve your product, right? Okay, cool. With this, I just wanted to convey one message that I'm sure whoever you're joining, whoever is there today joining us in this webinar, you are either product manager already or you are trying to look to become a product manager. I feel all the skills that you learn to become a product manager, you basically are going to become one kind of product manager. You may not learn everything to product space, but A/B testing which is very common and a very, very important practice which we do, which can be used in every kind of dimension. That's why I just try to cover different dimensions today, not just the visible or CX part of A/B testing. So with that, I'm just taking a pause here for a Q&A. And if you have any questions, let me know. If you have any thoughts, please share. Thank you.
Thanks for such an insightful session, Vivek. There are a few takeaways for me as well. Quite refreshing to obviously revisit the topic of A/B testing. I'm working in a very early stage product, probably not very relevant today, but definitely sometime in the near future. We have some questions parked with us by folks who have like either dialed in via LinkedIn or they've added here as well. So maybe I'll just go from the top and then address them to you. Yeah, so probably this is something that you've covered, but maybe for the benefit of the crowd, in what phase of product lifecycle is A/B testing best done? Is it after MVP is ready or prior to getting main development? So essentially, what stage is it most effective?
So typically, it depends upon what exactly is your goal. So at every stage, we do A/B testing for sure. And I just try to cover this from different aspects, not only from the customer aspect, but also from the internal aspect. When we do A/B testing, when we are building something, you might have seen this if you are a technical product manager or if you are a developer yourself, you might have seen a developer, sometimes development teams try to use different kind of frameworks. Let's say if you talk about from a UX perspective, when I was working at Here Technologies, I remember we were trying Angular. At the same time, we were trying React. Okay, just to see which one works really best. Okay, so that was the A/B testing at the development end. And then when we actually build our product and we were trying to do our beta testing, that time also we did beta testing, but there was more focused on the customer to get the feedback on the features, on the usability, on the response rate of their request, and the overall cycle when we can give them our results back. So it completely depends on you what exactly is the place that you feel beta testing is more important, and then you can do it. But yeah, typically in the entire life cycle, try to do beta testing. And look at this from beta testing, look at beta testing not from only the functionality or feature perspective or product perspective in general, but you also try to see it from messaging perspective. Also try to see from your own internal documentation perspective. You have written a one kind of PID. Maybe that's not a best way of writing PID, but the other way is the best one. So you can do your own testing, internal testing there. Right? You can also try to see your pricing of product if you are doing some, building some product. A pricing maybe works really well in some kind of market, but maybe not in the B. Right? So you do that testing at the time of launch or just before the launch. So yeah, it definitely depends upon what kind of testing you want to do, but in the entire life cycle you can do A/B testing.
I believe that answers a couple of similar questions in the group chat. A question around tooling, right? What are some of the tools which A/B testing? What are tools used for A/B testing across organizations? I can name a few. Optimizely is one. Google Analytics or any analytics platforms has A/B testing frameworks built in, so we can segregate or define user groups, control and test, and then launch A/B testing campaigns. But anything else apart from the ones which I stated?
So from a B2C perspective, if I see, Google Analytics is used a lot because this is typically giving you a capability to integrate with your own products and collect feedback, a lot of feedback on different kind of features. On B2B side, Amplitude is what I have seen a lot of companies use because it's more it is having more capabilities to integrate different systems, and then you can take feedback, you can collect a lot of data out of it. So those are the two, but other than that, Optimizely is definitely the one. Hotjar, which I've shown in the presentation also, is what I've seen is very popular these days.
I agree with that. I've heard a lot of good things about Amplitude.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wonderful.
So how do we determine the sample size for test and control?
Okay, so sample size, as I said, there are two ways you can definitely do it. Statistical sampling is one way of doing it, and then the random sampling. When you do statistical sampling, I'm not from a data science background, so I don't want to get into too much of details of how to do that. But statistical sampling basically tells you about in an overall population that you have. Let's say you have 1 million users, active users already. You have these users in different different locations in different countries or whatever, and then you collect that data and then you try to identify what is the good sample size which can represent the entire population. So you pick that sample size based on statistical sampling method, and then you decide that, okay, maybe it's 10,000, is a good number. So you go ahead with the 10,000 users, and then you pick 10,000 random users and give that test to them. The other one is a random sampling, which is very, very much popular, and it's quick also because you don't have to spend too much time into doing that. A lot of existing companies who have already built a lot of products use historical data to really see what they have done last time, or they collect a lot of historical data and see how much of the sample worked really well last time, or maybe last to last time, or even before that, and they gain lessons learned from that, and then they come to a sweet spot of a number that, okay, maybe this number could really work well, and then they go with that random sampling and then assign to those number of people. So it completely depends on what kind of organization it is. In startups, when you are not having much resources, not having much time, also you typically try to do a random sampling and then go ahead with that and then try to collect feedback. So yeah, I would say those are the two ways typically companies do sampling with. Did that answer, or you have any specific on that? I'm not sure. Was that question? Sorry.
I think this question was posed by someone who's joined us from the LinkedIn live stream. In case I have a follow-up, we'll post it here.
Yeah, perfect.
A good question. What exactly is the role of PM and A/B testing, since statistical data analysis will be done by the engineering team or data science team? So how are PMs positioned here?
This is a very good question. I got this question from some of my previous students also when I was lecturing about this. So A/B testing sounds very technical, okay, but it needs a lot of study. And I was focusing in one of my slides about best practices, just because PMs play a very important role in doing A/B testing, because we understand the importance, we understand the definition, and we should own the definition of an A/B testing. Okay. If I talk about Amazon in general, my experience in Amazon is PMs actually collect a lot of information, insights from the last A/B testing that was done. We collect a lot of customer data. We get a lot of feedback from different teams, and we try to create a hypothesis. Right? At the start, I talked about that A/B testing is nothing but a hypothesis validation. So when you say hypothesis is just basically your thoughts backed with data, which is telling you that I want to achieve something, and to achieve that, I will try these steps. And those steps are nothing but your A/B test. And when you do those A/B tests, I'm going to achieve this. If that doesn't work, then probably I'll do that. Okay, so another option that I make. So from a product manager's perspective, it becomes really important that we document it first. We are very, very clear in our mind we take feedback from development team, from our leaders, from our peers, to really take feedback and see whether this proposition makes sense or no. And then when everyone is aligned, then we go ahead and do the A/B test. At the same time, we are also very important players in contributing towards this study of sampling. How much sampling we should be doing, um, whether we should be doing in a particular country, when should we do the A/B test. In Europe, it is very common practice that whenever companies are trying to build any feature, they don't want to release that feature in July and August kind of time frame, just because July and August is a time when there are school holidays and a lot of people actually go on holidays, so they are not looking at the app or not having access to the computers. So we try to avoid that kind of period, right? So it's up to product manager. Product manager needs to know this, dynamics of the location. Otherwise, it will be a problem, right? So those kind of areas which we need to look at holistically and try to take decision and put that in our document as an important piece for decision making to A/B testing. So yeah, those are some of the areas that I feel are important to ensure that PMs are taking active, participation in decision making. And at the end, when the results come, it's PM's responsibility, right? Prioritization is PM's responsibility. Go ahead for go to market is a PM's responsibility, right? You have all the list, you have the checks, whether my messaging is ready, my system is ready, my load testing is ready, everything. So that the end checklist is something which is typically owned by PMs. And then when everything is done, then you say go ahead to the release, right? So A/B testing is done, you have good positive results, is one of the checks in. So you should do that check right at the end. So from that perspective, also it's really important that PMs take an active participation in A/B testing. Sorry, I didn't want to elongate, but yeah, that was important to cover. Cool.
No, absolutely.
I hope that
Some context
yeah,
definitely helps.
cool.
Yeah, I think that answers the question, Vivek. We have a few similar questions, but I think you covered them prior. Folks, we still have a few minutes. People who are dialing in from LinkedIn, so please keep your questions coming. We have about 5 to 8 minutes where we want to pick a few of these questions and address them before we end today's session. It's been great. The engagement is, the quality of questions have been like really good. We encourage you to ask more questions. So if anything needs to be clarified, we'll be happy to do that. All right, I think looks like folks. Okay. Do you recommend any courses / books? I am assuming. Okay, this is for A/B testing. Any good resources?
Okay. I'm not very sure about the books, to be honest. I am very much inclined towards reading a lot of Harvard Business Review articles. There are a couple of articles that I referred while I was doing research, and I found it really interesting. There are a lot of online videos on YouTube available. You don't have to spend too much money. Just go into some YouTube videos, try to see which one you really like, and then use that. But yeah, typically I would say do your research on online. Try to see some resources. Some of the companies which I've shown you who are providing A/B testing tools, they have their own portals, own blogs where they put a lot of articles about A/B testing, different kind of A/B testing. So you can refer those as well, and those are I believe really good resources to refer to. But yeah, it's a good thing. I didn't
Cool.
find any book around this. I'll try to research if there's any book.
Yeah, it has never struck me as well to pick it from a book.
Yeah.
I've been also picking
Sorry.
things on the fly, just using the internet.
Yeah. And one of the reasons why I picked this topic, Kushal, when we were discussing about this, is because I felt A/B testing is more considered as a technical tool of doing product validation and those things. And I really wanted to eliminate that myth and wanted to put forth this concept that it is not just technical. It is very important that we also understand the importance as product managers, and take active participation in the A/B testing. So yeah, this is a good question. There's no book. I mean, at least I did not find any book, but if there is any, I will definitely try to find that, and maybe I'll share somewhere online.
Sounds good. Vivek. One final question from my side. As cliched as it gets, what's your favorite product and why?
Oh, my favorite product. Okay. Cool. There are there are two products I can talk about. One is in India specifically, one of the products which I used a lot, specifically when after COVID, when the market was opening up, was Urban Company. It's wonderful, not from the user experience perspective, but also from the overall proposition perspective. How they have actually utilized or identified the problem in the market, and how they really helped engaging with multiple people, brought them together at one platform and providing service. Right during COVID, I did I did use the trimmer myself to do my hair trim, and that was disaster, right? But when the market started opening up, and then I had an option not to go to a barber shop and call somebody at my home and do it. So from that perspective, it was wonderful. So I really like that product, and the way they have provided the service. The other one is LinkedIn. I really like LinkedIn because from professional perspective, it provides you a lot of insights about the content. You have a good community there. You have a lot of content which you can refer to. You get posts from a lot of people, so you are up to date. Even if you are not reading books, even if you are not reading a lot of articles, even if you just glance through for 30 minutes in a day, few comments or a few insights, few people have shared, you gain a lot of knowledge. And I try to learn a lot from that. So I feel it's a good tool to consume a lot of content. At the same time, it gives you opportunity to find a lot of recommendations on the jobs. So you could actually see job for yourself. If you are not applying for a job, you could actually gauge the market. Like I'm really having a very keen interest in looking at how the market is looking like. So I try to see this on a regular basis to see, and I know that in last 2 years when the market went up for product managers and when it went down, and now how is the trend. So I just keep looking at that. So from that perspective, I really really like, and I can build my own hypothesis around what is exactly is the market condition right now. And then you have capabilities like LinkedIn Live, and then chats, and then connecting with people and following. So I really like LinkedIn. It's a good platform to be connected with the professional community.
Absolutely. All right. We have no further questions.
Wonderful.
So it's a good indicator that we had a good session. And folks, again, if you want to know further about the topic which we covered today, we are going to put this recording up on LinkedIn. You can drop in your questions and can engage there. And we can loop in the right experts, including Vivek, to just chime in where necessary in case you have questions. So with that, we end today's session. Vivek, it was a pleasure having you today. Have you join us at the start session. I'm pretty sure people would have had good takeaways overall. We haven't done A/B testing as a topic in a long time, so I think it's a great refresher for folks who are interested in the in A/B testing and just wanting to understand what it's all about. And thanks for taking the time to demystify it for us. And folks who have joined us, thanks so much for dialing in. I know it's a midweek, it's a work day, but it's great to see a lot of you join in and also participate by adding your questions and then just being part of the session. Thank you for joining. We're going to have star sessions every week, as I mentioned. Just a parting note, in case you are interested about knowing more about the PM School program, PM School in general, what we do, how we can help you in your career, please reach out to Priyal. She is going to send out a mail to all of you on your registered email address, and you can reply to that, and we can engage in how we can help you. So thanks,
Fine.
Vivek. Again,
Thank you.
it's great having you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you again so much, Kushal, for inviting. This
Thanks,
was
everyone.
a really wonderful session. I also learned a lot. I see a lot of comments. I'm definitely going to some takeaways from this. And thanks everyone for joining. This is really encouraging. Please connect with me on LinkedIn if you wish, and we can learn and share from each other. Cool. Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.
Thanks, Vivek. Thanks, everyone. Good night. Have a great rest of the week.